What's up, peeps and homies? We're doing this. We're doing this today. But I'm gonna do something new and interesting. I'm going to split the deck. Try shuffle in a way that I can't shuffle, as you can clearly see. But I did it anyways. Now I'm just going to do this. Okay, dear cards, please take this action with love and respect. Show us what we need to learn from this reading. Let's go. Okay, we have despair, we have invention, we have rest, and we have restriction. Oh, we have exhaustion out here on the side. Now, the reason I've done this is to see if we can do any sort of intuitive. I'm trying to grow my intuition a little bit and my psychic reading stuff. So now I've done this to see if their placement means anything. So this might take me a little while, all right? It might take me some time to figure this out, what the universe has presented to us. But I don't believe that the universe presents anything to us and it's not meant to be. Okay, like I know, right? I know, I'm freaking dealing with it. Unfortunately, that whole big plug, it might be lit, but it's not working. So I just have to keep swapping stuff. It's very annoying. But we might have to swap for this light right here. No, we've got that light. Okay. Anywho, so let's go. Right, so you'll notice what's come out. So devotion is standing out for me first. Devotion would definitely be the first thing that I would look at. Why? Why? I don't know why. Because it's got despair underneath it, and despair is underneath it, as in the energy of despair is underneath the energy of devotion. It feels like you're devoted, but despair wants to come in and say, "Hey, what's up?" You know, it feels like you're making your missions, you're doing what you need to do, but despair is trying to keep you away from what you've longed for and what you belong with. Okay, the despair card is pretty much your obstacle right now. So it's the thing that you need to deal with in order to keep yourself devoted to your mission. So if you're doing a project, you might want to continue that project. And I'm just going to put this straight directly into an example of mine. I know that I'm doing this tech reviews channel. By the way, guys, if you want to go and check out a tech reviews channel, I have started this and it looks pretty good. But I'm doing that channel, but it's going really well, and there's every reason for me to have faith in it, but I just don't enjoy doing it. So it feels like, ugh, do I really have to do it? And then yesterday, it was Saturday, so I was like, I really don't want to do it. You know, it's Saturday, but I still did it. I still did the work I needed to do, and I felt really good afterwards. And that's because of these cards right here. That's exactly what they're telling us right now, is that we need to keep up our devotion. This is a choice that we get to make now. We can either be devoted and just keep working with utter faith and blindness and trust in God, or we can go the reverse. It's literally in reverse. It's upside down, and we can trust despair instead. But the reason this has come in reverse actually is because it's saying that the despair is easy for us to get rid of now. It might be there, but it doesn't control us anymore. There's no control anymore. I was wondering why my head keeps going above the desk. I was like, the cards are on the floor. But then I realized that my microphones, you all know by now that my body sometimes just does its own thing. Okay, but anyway, so that's what those cards are telling us there. Okay, then we move on to this. We've got invention, and I can definitely see that there's loss coming on underneath there. So again, it feels like you've got this invention going on. It feels like something's coming to an end, actually. It feels like there's a project or an invention or a creation that you were making. Again, my head was doing that thing. Okay, so my microphone. Let's just make sure that you all can hear me. Okay, so that's an invention, right? It's basically saying the loss is talking about a project which you've been working on, and it's a good project, even if you don't think it is, or even if it hasn't gained the traction you think it has, or it will, or it could. If you don't have faith in it, it's asking you to have some faith in it. So have some devotion to it. Put some faith into it. You know, pray for it. Say thanks that you've done it. Thanks for whoever did witness it. Thanks for those things. And then let it go. So the loss is about actually allowing the project to have its final conclusion. Okay, because you can't, if you keep working on one project and then you start 10 others. That's something I'm also constantly doing. And this card is literally saying, stop doing that. Let's rather finish our projects first, then move on to the next things. Okay, and it's not saying that our projects need the ending we think. Sometimes it needs to have a premature ending because there's something much greater at play for us. Okay, then we've got rest and restriction. So it feels like you've been hindering yourself through rest. That's what's coming up. It feels like this balance that you've got going on right now isn't as healthy as it could be. Because it feels like the rest you're getting, it feels like you've been needing this rest. But finally, now that you're taking it, it feels like you're overdoing it and it's restricting your workflow. It feels like you're not making missions in life to advance right now. It feels like you're stuck. You've stuck yourself, okay? And I'm not saying that you're stuck as in the universe doesn't have plans for you and there's not opportunities coming. What I mean is that the universe wants to see you keep doing your work. And I always tell people the very least you can do is 30 minutes every single day. If you want to grow a project, then that's what you need to do. 30 minutes every single day consistently. Irrelevant of what you do in that 30 minutes, as long as it's towards that project. Because eventually you'll get to a point where it'll make sense what you need to do with your 30 minutes. And it'll get to a point where you can see what's going on. You can see the manifestation coming to light. And then you get a boost. And then you start doing hours of work. And that just keeps your momentum going. But right now it's saying all these cards are saying. It's saying this right here. Number one. You have a new idea or there's a new project that you want to do. It's a good idea or that you've already started. It's a good idea to keep working on that, keep going with that, push for that. Don't let despair come in. Don't let these false beliefs and this negative energy try and hinder you or harm you or stop you from achieving what you know you want for yourself. It is not about what you think you are destined for in these energies. It is about what you want for yourself. You now get to choose what you want to work towards, and you can devote yourself towards that life. You then go ahead onto your invention. By the way, this isn't for everybody, but it's for you guys, okay? But it's not for everybody in the world. Some people have to go through a hard life first. Okay, then we have to go through invention. So that's then saying, well, before you can truly devote yourself to whatever is new, you have to let go of the old. You have to lose the old. Now, again, this could be talking about your invention of a project and stuff. I'm getting a lot of projects, a lot of like maybe you tried to start a business or something like that, okay? Maybe it was a YouTube channel or maybe it was even like a commitment to something or someone or a piece of paper, something like that. And now your invention is trying to say, whoa, maybe you want to watch out that you're just check that you're going down the right path, pretty much, okay? Make sure that when you devote yourself to the right thing. You don't want to devote yourself to something old. And if you do, that's fine, but then you're not going to have the loss coming up. So it has to be like a letting go process. Whatever you're currently working on has to be let go so that you can devote yourself to whatever is new. Otherwise it is saying you do have free will. It is saying that if you wanted to, you could continue with this invention and you could devote yourself to it, but that is also going to bring up the card of despair, because once you see things working out, you will then realize you could have had it work out with something else, something that you actually enjoyed, and that's going to bring up the despair, and that despair will then be there for life, for that project, until you decide to let it go and let bygones be bygones. That will then be a lesson of forgiveness in this lifetime for whoever ever did follow that path. But right now, and that's self-forgiveness, so that's like a big shadow element. But what's happening right now is you have the choice to forgive yourself right now. You have the choice to forgive yourself for taking this path and making the mistakes you did along this path. And you can now devote yourself to a new path, to a new you, to a new self. And you can therefore let go of the element of despair. It's coming in, like trust. Despair is still trying to seep in. But actually what's happening is it was already in you. It was in the deck. What you can see there is that it's actually trying to come out. You are forcing the despair out. You are pushing the despair out by replacing it with the devotion you have. Okay. Cool. And then the rest and restriction, that's basically saying make sure that when you rest, it's not a restrictive force. Remember that rest can be as equal of an addiction as anything else. You know, when you lie in your bed for 10 days straight and you do nothing and you haven't even left the house, that is no longer healthy. That is not rest. That's unless, of course, you're in a very, very tough life situation where you actually need that rest, where it's like you can't get out of bed. You know what I mean? Usually what you need to do when you're resting too much is always try and get some activity in, because that is required for balance. So there has to be this restriction is like, Yes, make sure you rest, but make sure it's not a hindrance. Make sure it's not restricting you from advancing your life as well. Okay. Then we got these upside down cards. I don't know if that's meant for anything. Nope, actually this reading was perfect. Oh yeah, we've got the exhaustion out there. So that's just saying, that's pretty much saying, God. Okay, so the exhaustion is basically saying you're going to experience exhaustion through this process, but that's just part of the cycle. You just gotta make sure that when you're exhausted is when you rest. You don't want to rest just because you feel like resting. Not always. Sometimes what I do is I take like a Sunday off. So Sunday is my day where if I did want to just rest, today is Sunday and you can see I'm not resting. But if I did want to just rest, today would be the day to do that. Okay? And that's because I know how to keep myself away from exhaustion. And that's by balancing rest, not using it in a restrictive force, but not restricting the rest either. Just about balance, as always and as usual. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.